I never want to watch anime again. I don't want anything to do with anime. I got my waist bin here, and I got some of my anime. We got Death Note, one of my favorites.
Yeah, no. Sorry, but I'm not buying it. Hello everyone, it's Mr. Troll delivering an update. So Tipster uploaded this 42-minute video titled "Was I Wrong to Defend Vaush?" and he makes some stupid arguments in that video. But before I talk about that, I first have to talk about Vaush. So I made a whole video on how Vaush defends the legalization of cheese pizza. Yes, the one I'm not allowed to say or else the YouTube higher-ups will get upset. But anyways, that video was flooded with comments telling me I and many other content creators have just taken Vaush out of context, and in reality, Vaush is not a creep. But the thing is, I have now seen the context, and it's not much better.
And we go like, oh jeez. Oh boy. Some of these girls looked pretty young. Okay, I don't give a all right?
Crazy to think he wasn't joking here.
If you're into lolicon, like, people always say this. People always say, bro, it's just drawings. Okay, drawings of what, right? Civil War, okay, states' rights over what, you know? Why are you into that? What elements of that are you into, you know? And I think there's no way to answer those questions without at least being somewhat introspective about the underlying issues.
It made people wonder if he was projecting. Suddenly screaming out of context was no longer a good excuse. And Ethan would destroy that narrative.
Why is the possession of child pornography immoral? Because it hurts people to make child pornography, yeah? Because you have to hurt children to make it. That's why it's immoral. It's not magically immoral. It's immoral because of the harm that is caused by it. So, do we not possess other things that
you sound like someone who's trying to rationalize child abuse.
Like, the argument that I was making essentially is that people are inconsistent in their moral outrage at commodities which hurt people when they're produced.
Okay.
So people will laugh off cocoa butter or chocolate or or cobalt or other products that we tend to get through a really, really unethical system. But then they're really, really quick to denounce child porn.
This man says you eat chocolate and you dare to care about child pornography. That's what his point is, right? Those things can be produced ethically. Child pornography cannot.
Now, I usually do not like Ethan Klein. Most of the time he makes brain-dead arguments, either when he criticized Mr. Beast that one time or when he talks about stuff together with Hassan Piker. But this has to be a rare W Ethan Klein moment. So when Vaush is saying cheese pizza should be legal, the full context here is that he basically points out why it is not legal to consume content based around child exploitation when it is perfectly legal to buy products like chocolate, which are often produced with the use of child exploitation. But here is the difference. You don't have to buy chocolate that was specifically produced by children in a third world country. You can buy like fair trade chocolate which is ethically produced. And even when it comes to products created with the use of child exploitation, the vast majority of people who consume those products are oblivious of all the child exploitation, and they usually do not care. They just buy the product because they want to taste the chocolate. Cheese pizza, on the other hand, is consumed by people who explicitly want to watch children getting exploited. In cheese pizza, child exploitation is the product. It is the purpose of buying it. And that is why it is not equally legal as chocolate. But let's assume Vaush was making some good arguments. Then how do you explain his weird comments on horses, the things he does with lizards, and most importantly, how do you explain him having illegal content downloaded on his hard drive? That is something you cannot just justify. If you claim you only downloaded this for quote-unquote research purposes or something like that, that is an excuse that can be used by literally anyone. Imagine if you find EDP445 having cheese pizza on his hard drive, and he explains himself by being like, that is for research purposes. Would you believe the cupcake man? Now enter Tipster. He is a pretty irrelevant content creator, and the only reason I'm aware of his existence is because he was involved in the Illuminati drama. Now, how exactly he was involved in the drama, I don't remember, because that's how little I care about this man. But anyways, we're not gonna sit through the 40-minute video here, because a lot of the video consists of Tipster regurgitating the same things over and over again. But we will focus on some key points. So here's how Tipster defends Vaush downloading NSFW content on his hard drive.
When it comes to Vaush having that shit on his computer, I'm willing to be charitable and listen to his explanation that, hey, it was an accident. I didn't fucking know, okay? It was really fucking stupid and really fucking careless for him to have that shit on his computer. And Vaush, if you happen to be watching this, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You're kind of fucking retarded for having that shit on your computer, okay? I'm just gonna be real. But do I think that you're a pedophile because you accidentally downloaded that shit? No, I don't think so. Okay, I think people have really lowered the bar for what makes someone a pedophile, and I'm sorry, I don't think that that's the case, okay?
He downloaded it on accident is an even worse excuse than he downloaded it for research purposes. How do you manage to go out of your way to find this stuff, presumably on the dark web, and then click download and save it onto your hard drive, and do all of that on accident? It takes a conscious decision to find something like this and to also download it. It is not like, whoops, I downloaded NSFW, my bad. It's not.
This whole experience has honestly ruined anime for me in general. I said it before, like, hentai was never my thing, but if you're into hentai, honestly, just stay the fuck away from that shit, because holy fuck, like, you could look at something that looks perfectly fine and then later find out it's lolly, and then you could find yourself in a situation like this. So this whole situation has honestly ruined anime for me so fucking much that I never want to watch anime again. I don't want anything to do with anime. I got my waist bin here and I got some of my anime. We got Death Note, one of my favorites. Fuck it, throw it in the bin. We got some Dragon Ball Z, another great anime show. Throw it in the fucking bin. Robotech seems pretty harmless, but who knows? Maybe there's some lolly in there. Throw it in the fucking bin. Ys, based on one of my favorite RPG franchises, in the fucking bin.
You realize anime, hentai, and lolly are completely different things. Yes, there exists hentai out of every anime, but the same thing can be said about Western cartoons and literally everything else. Look up Rule 34. But anime in of itself is harmless. Yes, Naruto, Dragon Ball, and Death Note and all of those kinds of anime may have characters that are supposed to represent minors, but guess what? Those minors are not portrayed in sexual settings. Those shows are not sexually charged. Do you understand what I mean? Those shows are meant to entertain kids. Unlike hentai, they are not meant to make you edge yourself to them. And if you get turned on by Naruto, then that's a you problem, and not a problem with the show itself.
Catherine, pretty sure there might be something sussy in there. Let's get rid of it. And just for good measure, Ethan calls people he views as lolicons, he calls them lollipops. So we'll get rid of lollipop chainsaw just to be on the fucking safe side. I'm so sick of anime at this point. I want nothing to fucking do with it. No more anime in my house. I'm sorry, babe. I know you're in the other room. I know you still like Pokemon and shit like that. No more. No mas. It's Jover.
So he's talking to his wife here, I believe. Hey, Tipster, do me a favor. Rather than being a chronically online loser who defends a borderline pedo, could you instead either spend more time with your darling or let her file a divorce?